Good morning. Last week, we practiced keeping a diary. We used to write on our daily life. And I introduced the sermon's statement of a person who have kept her or she daily diary. Our sentence was this: I keep a diary every day. I try to picture things that happened that day that made me smile, or made me thankful or appreciative, and let that feeling fill me up. She knows how to keep herself happy. Happy people try to fill his or her heart with something beautiful. When we see miserable people, they fill their heart with very sad story, catastrophizing story, right? So she knows how to keep herself happy. This is the secret of being happy. Fill our heart with something thankful and appreciative. So feeling great, because feeling great is the key to do something creative in our life. So that was the daily diary ordinary people have practiced. But today, we are going to study how to keep our daily diary and fixed diary, which I think much advanced and comprehensive and integrative way of keeping a diary to manage our life. When Master Peterson said, Dharma of keeping a daily diary has been established for whom? For whom? Everybody. Man and woman, adult and child, learned or ignorant, lay or ordained. Everybody, if we practice this daily diary, there will be infinite benefit. So what is the purpose of keeping a daily diary? To review. This is the most important word in this whole chapter, review. Last week, I happened to see the scene on the theater. The African cow, the baby animal of African cow was born. Have you seen that? When the baby animal cow is born, in less than 10 minutes, it can stand up. After several trials and fails, without any help from the mother, it can stand up. And then walk, and then run. It doesn't take more than 30 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes, it can run. I want to ask, how many minutes do we human beings take to stand up without holding anything and run? How many minutes? Where is the Ong-sing? Ong-sing. How many minutes did you take I cannot calculate infinite number of minutes, right? We are such a fragile, vulnerable creature. But for the animals, that's all. All the growth was done, right? After that, what happens? Walking, running, eating. What happens when they live 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? That's it. But it takes 3 years maybe to run, right? Infinite number of minutes. But after that, what happens? Every day we learn something new. Something new. Because of the capacity to review. Review. When we open our physical eyes, we see this, right? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And bring the scene, what happened to you yesterday, from the morning to evening. Look at that. What happened to you? From the morning, afternoon, evening, and night to you. Can you see what you could have done to make you better, to make you your life? Open your eyes. You see that, right? We see that. And we can recreate. Okay, next time I can do this way and that way to make myself better, more happy and joyful and more wonderful. With that capacity and power to review, we humans can continue to grow until we die, right? Physically, emotionally, mentally, and we can make a spiritual perfection because of this capacity to review. So reviewing is essential for practitioners. So Grandmaster Sotaesan's guidance is review every day. Review every day. First, the handling of affairs in a mindful or unmindful fashion. Scientists have discovered that most of the life of most of the day, we humans live with unconscious thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, more than 95%. It means that unmindfully, unconsciously. When we use our bodies, when we speak, when we think, we just repeat same thoughts all day because we are unconscious. If we are conscious, we may be able to change to something else, right? Is it easy or difficult to do that? Difficult. Especially when Grandmaster Sotaesan studied Won Buddhism, many disciples were illiterate. How compassionate he was is because his disciples were not familiar with this document and scripture. They didn't know how to read it. But everybody has the mind, right? Everybody has the capacity to be awakened to our true nature. So his compassion was like this, using the bin, like this. Hold this bin all day in your pocket. And then when you have had a chance to speak, you are unmindful. But at night, close your eyes. Oh my goodness, I could have been said with a better word, right? Then check, I was a mindful black bean, okay? And then I decided to be mindful when I wash the dishes, and I did it. Okay, light colored bean, let's read it. Then this bean, going to the. So he guided his disciple to practice this way, the mind practice. Then after a day, maybe a handful of the light colored bean success. And then 2 handfuls of black bean. All mindful. Then before going to bed, we can see, we can review what happened to me a day. Oh, I lived a very unmindful day. Maybe tomorrow I will have more light colored bean and less black colored bean. That way we can examine whether I'm growing better or I regress. This thorough, detailed observation and examination we need. Without that, what happens? Even though we live 20 years, 50 years, 80 years, we'll become centenarian, Peter. What will happen if we are not mindful? If we don't examine, if we don't review?
All that happens.
Same thing, same thing. We'll become very boring to ourselves, right? Same person. When we see children, they are always fresh because every second they learn something new. They open to the world. But adults, they are easy to close their journey of growing because they don't examine thoroughly and then close. So handling of affairs in a mindful or unmindful fashion is the key for our growth. Number 2 is the state of one's study. Here, study means not just a school study. What do we need as a human? What do we ultimately want in our life is we want peace, right? Peaceful life, joyful life, happy life, and creative life. We want our own well-being, right? Well-being. Emotionally stable and mentally open. That's what we need. That's what we want. But a few people are satisfied with themselves. I have seen, right? Most people, they are not satisfied with themselves. Always feel something missing. something deficient. That is why we need to study. That is meditation. When we meditate, what happens? We become less worried, right? And we can be calm. And we can be a little wiser. And then we read the scripture. That's the study. So keep the writing. What do we do to keep myself in a well-being state? Peaceful and joyful. And number 3, whether or not one transgressed the precepts. There are 30 precepts in one Buddhist, in the principle of one Buddhism. You can see and then check it. Because those are the standard of a good character. And on the one hand, while observing the precept, we can have our own precept. For the students, like Ong-Sing, I know you don't spend time playing video game, but some students do this. If they spend 2 hours a day, then close your eyes and review yourself. And if you keep reviewing it while closing eyes, why should I spend 2 hours for doing the video game? If I can spend 1 hour for reading and 1 hour video game, what will happen to me? Right? Okay, I'm gonna make this my rule. And I will see if I can do it or not. And after 1 month, Ong-Sing, keep it, then what will happen to you? Freedom. Right? Because you were able to control your mind and you were able to observe your rule. So after 1 month, okay, you can review again. Okay, every day I spend 1 hour of a video game and 1 hour reading. What would happen if I spend only 30 minutes of video game and 30 minutes of exercising? That's my rule from today. I will check it. Maybe 2 months and 3 months, you do it, right? Then you become more and more confident, right? In observing your own rule, right? So in that way, we can transform ourselves. We can develop, we can become the builder of becoming better and better person. And in the text of cultivating, the secret of cultivating the mind, the Master Pojo, he said, once we are awakened to our true nature, which is the wisdom nature and natural power, unlimited power, then we can create 100,000 of a transformation. If we can change ourselves with a better practice, then we can become limited number of transformation bodies and characters. Right? So it depends on how much details we review and examine. When we see, carpenters, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, the difference is details. Right? third grade carpenter, they can do structure work. But first grade carpenter, they are fast in details. So when we examine ourselves with the details, our mind functions and our bodies, then we can build better and better character. So these practice should be done every day. Even though you don't have time to write, then at least 5 minutes, close your eyes and review. And then make a resolution with your strong emotions. Strong emotions. And then there are fixed term diary. Fixed term diary is for practitioners who are undergoing training in either seminary or a meditation center. It's a kind of fixed term, 5 days or 10 days, 1 month. It's for professional spiritual practitioners. Or if you want to deepen your practice so that you can be more advanced, then you can keep this diary. It is much more thorough diary. This is for record, right? Like a scientist do recording, record for that day. First, the number of hours they worked. In the secular world, we work, right? For what? We need money, right? For ourselves and our families. Right? It also contribution to the world, right? But we need money. But when we go to the retreat center, when we work, no money, then why do we work? For our goodness, for our joy. When you come to the temple, you help something. For what? Your own merit. Community service. This is the practice going beyond myself and my own family. When you come to the temple, you need to see what I can do. Maybe cleaning, washing the dishes, or saying hi first. It's a community service. We need to practice that, going beyond myself, my own family. So advanced practitioners, they keep recording the number of hours they worked, using their bodies and mind, as well as money and materials. How I use my mind energy, my emotional energy, how I express my love, my kindness, my generosity, how much I volunteer to participate in the good community. Advanced practitioners are concerned with it. For public life, to become the public spirit person. Number 2 is their income or expenditures that day. When we work in the secular world, income means kind of a salary, right? Expenditure means what we buy or give. But for advanced spiritual practitioners, income means when I receive something from others. If somebody praise me and good comments, I'm receiving, right? Positive energy. If somebody help me, it's a receiving. Gregory always come 1.5 hours before the Dharma service. He helps the setting the cushions and distributing. From him, it's giving. To us, it's receiving. You may not know, but it's a debt. We have been served by him. And Totanya always come early, and she brought the fruits and things, and then prepare for its giving. We are receiving. We may not see it, but it happens. So receiving and giving, sometimes verbally, sometimes physically, sometimes materially, monetarily. Universe is just always exchange of giving and receiving and giving and receiving. We need to be very sensitive to that cosmic, commercial phenomena. Advanced spiritual practitioners, they count it. And if I gave the good positive vibe to the world or not, we may think that's nothing, but that's real something, because universe is just energy. I am energy being. What kind of energy do I create? It can cleanse the universe, or it can pollute universe. So many people are not sensitive because they are only bound to physical world. And people think we accumulate merit or transgressions only with money and materials, but spiritually awakened people, they know we create merits and transgressions with our mental functions, emotional activities, and physical body. Those are energy. Spiritual money, body and mind are spiritual money. So we need to keep recording, right? Try it. Even several days, try it. And you will see how important it is. And number 3 is the specific handling of the function of their bodies and mind. Whether we used our body and mind with gratitude, love, fairness, or peace, joy, positivity, or complaints, or blame, or anger, we can check our mind functioning. We should be diligent spiritual farmer. Right? Whether I'm a good spiritual farmer or bad. Because everything counts. Every single small things count. Energy. Enlightened ones like the world-honored one, Shakyamuni Buddha or Grandma Sotaesan, they are aware of every single second to detect what's going on in my body and mind and emotions. That is why every single second is an opportunity for them to create. That is why 100,000 of transformation becomes possible to them. But unenlightened ordinary sentient beings, they are not aware of all day, maybe not. That is why they miss all the chances to transform themselves, right? Number 4 is record their awakenings and impressions. Only when we are aware of what's going on within and outside, because of our own inborn intelligence, we can be awakened to new truth, new fact, and write it. And then apply that new awakening into your practice, mind and body functioning. Then we can have higher standard, higher reference point to grow further. And if we see and hear throughout the day, and if you are touched and moved by something, then make a picture, your mental picture. If I see Peter is, organizing things at the Dharma hall, it looked good to me. Then I can feel, wow, it's beautiful. How do I learn? I take a mental picture and then I keep it. If I keep it deeply, then later, if there is a chance, there's a possibility, I can recreate it. Because that good impressions, I imprint in my heart, right? That's how I can learn, from the impressions. Make a copy. Everybody know the Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, some 2,500 years ago. And he said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Excellence cannot be made by only one act, right? We need to repeat and repeat and repeat it. What is that? What we repeat? Habit. Right? William James, American psychologist, he said, all of my life, our life, is but a mass of small habits, practical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, that bear us irresistibly toward our destiny. Tension is a habit. Relaxing is a habit. Bad habits can be broken. Good habits formed. Because who started bad habits, good habits? We did. What kind of habits do you want to build? What kind of a destiny you want to end up? What kind of baggage of the habits you have carried? So review yourself, your life. What kind of habits which don't serve you at all, you still carry, and make a list and then make your own rule. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye with this and I'm gonna build new one to become better person. And Albert Einstein, he said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. We believe we are sane, right? But so many parts, we keep doing same thing and we dream something wonderful. That's not the principle of cause and effect, right? Principle of cause and effect is not stupid thing. Very smart. Yesterday, some of our members attended Isha's graduation party. When I met her first, she was a small child. And I have witnessed how she has been growing. Like her, we adult, we believe grown-ups, we too can continue to grow and transform. I see I'm a better person than last week because I've learned a lot. I've tried to a lot. Something new. I've expanded myself. Joy comes from it. I try to help others more. I try to educate myself. I try to open my heart more. Feeling more expanded. So please ask yourself, what do I want from my life? What kind of person do I want to be? Is this all I can be? If we don't realize the highest potential you have, then we are all lazy. Right? You are much more than you think you are. So digging out, right? Every day, keep this question. How can I create my best version? Right? Believe. Some psychologists say, in human life, what is the most important essence is, when she was asked, she said, confidence. Confidence. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. See how powerful you are physically. How mature you can be emotionally. How much open you can be intelligently, intellectually, and spiritually. Try. Without trying, we don't know. So even though you cannot keep a diary thoroughly every day, but try one by one and make your life a wonderful journey that a moth turns into butterfly. And I hope all of us to be a gift to the world. When our next generations watch us and see us, wow, they are true humans. I want a mother after. I want to ask her or him the path the person has taken and ask, what's the secret of it? Then we can say, okay, I will tell you what I have done. So we have to create our own story of growth, your own version. I'm working on my own version, and you create your own version. And Grandmaster Sotaesan's guidance, reviewing our body and mind functioning, and giving and receiving. And what do we do to keep ourselves in the well-being state, which is our birthright and most natural state of living creature.